Some movies, unfortunately, sort of fall into this, just how bad is it kind of territory. I think this one falls into a just how wrong were the critics on this one. Let's talk about G.I. Jane. And no Chris Rock, Will Smith, Jada Pinkett Smith talk required. Ridley Scott's 10th film, G.I. Jane tells the story of a woman who, thanks to the efforts of a female senator, is enrolled in the U.S. Navy's elite SEAL C.R.T. selection program. Lieutenant Jordan O'Neill is given the assignment, but no one expects her to succeed in a punishing regime that has a standard 60% dropout rate for men. However, O'Neill is determined to prove everyone wrong. The movie stars Demi Moore, Viggo Mortensen, and Anne Bancroft. Of course, this is a continuation of the Ridley Scott Review-a-Thon that I've been doing, where I'm going through Ridley Scott's complete filmography, and really for two reasons. Number one, I love him as a director. I've loved many of his movies for years and years and years. And secondly, because his releases on home video are typically some of the best when it comes to learning about how movies are made. The special features on his movies are typically amazing. Fortunately, this Blu-ray for G.I. Jane only includes a movie trailer. So I didn't even bother buying it. I bought it on iTunes for $4.99 on sale. The presentation on iTunes, which is in most cases is just a direct rip off of the Blu-ray, it's not good. There's just no care taken to the transfer of this movie. There's in multiple places there's like dust and dirt and even hairs on the image. I had to actually back it up a couple of times in one spot where I was like, was that actually there? Was I just seeing things? Am I okay? But first off, let's talk about the acting. Demi Moore was actually given a Razzie for her performance in this movie. And if you don't know what the Razzies are, they're sort of this like an almost an alternate Academy Awards, where instead of giving an award for the best performances, they give an award for the worst performances. And I think this is completely unfair to Demi Moore. I've never thought that she was like a fantastic actress, but I bought her in this role, completely. And there was nothing in her performance that made me think, yeah, she's really bit off more than she can chew here. She's great. In fact, she's kind of badass in this movie. Viggo Mortensen really plays against type because he's usually, either a nice guy or, just an okay type guy, at least from what I've seen from Viggo. And yeah, his Master Chief Urgale is, he's a piece of work. Let me just say that. I mean, it's not really like a layered performance, but I actually kind of like the idea that Viggo brought to Ridley Scott. He said, I think he should quote T.H. Lawrence, which sort of gives a little, another layer to his performance. But he really plays the part well. I'll just say that. Anne Bancroft is also in the movie. She plays the senator from Texas that is trying to, convince the military to be more gender neutral. Look, she was good. She was definitely good in the role. I found the politics sort of frustrating. I find politics in general frustrating. But yeah, it's really strange too. It dates the movie in a way that I was like, oh, I don't remember that. I've only seen the movie once before, and that was back in probably the late 90s. There's one subplot where some pictures are taken of O'Neill having party time with the girls, and they're trying to oust her as a lesbian, and that apparently is a problem. And that really dates the film. It's really kind of strange. And it's, don't ask, don't tell was a thing back then. But it just made it feel very, it was weird. I think the movie overall, the story works really well. I mean, you could see this kind of, it could have gone in sort of like this Private Benjamin kind of direction, very comedic and cheesy, or it could go into this really preachy sort of girl power sort of movie. But it never really does that. It's just really good. And by focusing in on Demi Moore's character, O'Neill, by focusing in on her and her journey, it sort of makes the story universal. And I think anybody could get something out of this movie. I mean, it's really that good. Now, when it comes to direction, it's fine. It's just fine. But for Ridley, it seems almost restrained. You know, I mean, you're looking at this era when he made this movie. He hadn't really had a hit since Thelma and Louise, like 4 years earlier, and it seems like he's in this weird creative rut, because it just doesn't seem very Ridley to me. Um, I don't know. I'm just not really blown away by his direction. In fact, it almost seems like it seems like a movie that would have been perfect for his brother Tony. You know, this is the kind of feel and the kind of look and everything, the kind of story that Tony Scott really would have excelled at. And that, I guess, maybe that's the big problem for me. I guess the last portion of this movie, I'd say like the last 20 or 30 minutes, they're as trainees, they're sort of thrust into this situation where they have to act. And they're put in harm's way, but it's also a way for them to prove themselves. And I mean, let's be honest, it's a way for O'Neill to prove herself, right? In a wartime situation. I absolutely hate this section of the movie. I really think it's terrible. It really is bad. The camera work is some of the worst ideas I've ever seen. There's this thing that is, especially when there's shots of someone shooting, it's like he's trying to like shake the zoom. It's like a stutter zoom, and it's almost like I thought shaky cam during action scenes was bad. No. This was terrible. In fact, it was so bad that I was just like, I can't believe Ridley did this. And the last shot of the movie is O'Neill getting Urgel's book of poetry along with his Navy Cross. And, you know, he sort of is walking away and he turns around and just kind of does a little smirk and then Demi like smiles and then it goes to black. And I'm like, that's bad. That's just a bad ending. I mean, I don't know what a better way to end it is, but it just felt very, very cheesy. It wasn't the best ending. Overall, I have to say I don't really understand the hate that this movie got. I mean, it's sitting at 50% on Rotten Tomatoes now. I mean, it's a 25-year-old movie. Probably not a whole lot of people are reviewing G.I. Jane these days, but it's frustrating to me that even back then there seemed to be this railing against Demi Moore playing this kind of character. I mean, so bad that she got a Razzie for it. I mean, it just feels completely unfair. For the vast majority of the runtime of this movie, I'm enjoying myself. I think it's really good. So, I mean, I kind of have to give this sort of like in the 3.25 stars kind of territory. But I mean, gosh, even look, I mean, I'm not saying that Roger Ebert is the end all be all, but he did give the movie 3.5 stars. So G.I. Jane. I mean, look, it's not exactly the newest movie. I mean, it's celebrating its 25th anniversary this year. So, look, I think G.I. Jane is a better movie than a lot of people gave it credit for. I mean, even me back in the day. I mean, I'd only seen it the one time, probably back in like 98 or 99 or something like that. So I was really impressed with it. There was a lot to like. And in fact, I think Demi Moore probably should have gotten some pretty big action roles after that. But unfortunately, her career just kind of drifted away at that point, which is kind of disappointing. So I'm kind of curious. For those of you out there who have seen G.I. Jane, what do you think of it? Let me know down below because, you know, it's fun. It's fun to talk movies and stuff. And thanks. So anyway, thank you all so much for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.